Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back. In today's video, we're continuing our journey through Mini Metro. We are going to be playing on the Lisbon map. Interested to see how this one will work out. It looks like we're going to be along a coastline. And in terms of score, it's a decently spread out peak for the score, and it's making it seem like probably going to need to be in the 2500 to 2700 range to have a decent placement on the scoreboard, but really people seem to be anywhere from 500 all the way up to 2500. So I should be curious to see how the level plays out and what might be leading to that score, to that spread in the score graph there. So let's dive in and get started. So we've got our initial setup here. We can make this a loop. Goal is we're trying to connect these different metro stops. You can see a circle here at this station means that the passenger wants to go to the circle station. Obviously, there is a lot of chaos that can ensue here depending on how the game generates the different stations and what some of the quirks might be for this particular map. We do have tunnels by the looks of it, so we are going to probably be tunneling under water at some point. This isn't too bad an initial setup, though. Let's pick up the pace a bit. These games are very much, though, like, oh, everything's great and under control until it is not, and that the threshold of when you sort of cross that point happens very quickly. The game will all of a sudden just decide to ratchet things up. We're going to put a second line in there. I don't think that's going to stay necessarily, but squares are relatively rare and quite useful, so I don't think we want to have them side by side on the same line. So whatever happens here, we're probably going to want this square to be on a second. Oh, and as I say that, now the game is going to give us lots of squares. We'll do that for the time being. I think that'll be fine. We'll see where things go. So we get another locomotive here since we reached the end of the week. And we get a line or a carriage. Let's take a line. I don't think we need to jump to 3 lines yet, but not bad to have that. That's a pretty good spot for a circle there on the orange. I mean, ideally, you never want to have the same shape multiple stops in a row, but the game frequently makes that hard to avoid, as we see here with another circle. Not wonderful, but we can live with that for now. Up to 50 points. Each passenger we get to the correct destination adds another point. And look at that. Just because I talked about squares earlier, we're going to have a frenzy of squares here. Might as well take that up to that circle there. Less distance it needs to travel. So we get end of the next week, we get a locomotive. Let's take a carriage this time and let's pause for a second. Let's put that carriage onto the orange here. I feel like it's going to need that. Can use that triangle to break up the circles there. Get things running again. Definitely an oddly shaped layout that we've got going on at the moment. It is funny to have so many squares. Really, really interesting, but it is working okay at the moment. We just have to be prepared for when it all of a sudden stops working. If we were to go like that, and I guess like that, that's probably the best option at the moment for the blue line. Now we're getting lots of circles in a row. End of another week. Things are moving along. We got a locomotive. I'm gonna grab a couple more tunnels because I just feel like we're heading into tunnel territory here. Another square. That is awkward. If we back this up, what I'm thinking, if we were to take, say that to there, over to here, love the shape that we're getting here, but what if we, let's move that back. Let's move this over here and then maybe down to here and back up. And then if we treat this one as a third line, we'll just do that to start with. Don't entirely love the layout still of these different tracks and the different stations per line, but this gives us some options and we can see where things go and we can always adjust. And let's pause. And then I was gonna say, and it's like things are fairly stable, and then we get a triangle over on the very far side here. Like, what the heck is that? So I feel like we need to back that right out. If we go triangle to circle to square back to triangle, I feel like we need to stretch that. I guess we could stretch that to there. It's not ideal, but we need a connection point just in case we get unique shapes on one of these lines. And then I kind of feel like we need another locomotive on this blue line. Let's run and see where things go. I'm running that blue in the opposite direction, so it should, hopefully between the two blue trains, it'll help things out there, be able to handle everything. This yellow line is covering a lot of real estate, but it's kind of a necessity at the moment, given the layout of all these different stations and stops. So we get a locomotive. We'll take another line, I think. It's probably going to be the most useful. And look at that. Now we've got a square all the way down here, which is making me think that this orange line doesn't make sense like it did before. We're starting to get a lot of overlap. If we take that right out, and then if we were to go from the square to the triangle to the circle to the triangle to the circle to the square to the triangle and back, that gives us one connection point there. It's not ideal. It might be nice to have a second connection point, but let's try that and see how that goes. Let's pause for a sec. So we need to put the carriage back on there. I guess we had 2 trains on the orange before. I think that's, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look, but anyways, I think we had the carriage there for sure. We're gonna leave it just as 1 train to start with, 1 locomotive. We'll see if we need more. We're up to almost 300 for our score, which is pretty good. We have, and I think we've still got 1 more line that we can use as well. Make sure that new pizza slice shape is connected. And then we've got a new circle over here, which we don't have tunnels for that, right? We don't have any tunnels. Let's wait a moment and see what we can do here. Another circle up there, wonderful. 2 more tunnels. Let's pause for a second. If we do so, that basically used up 1 more tunnel. We should now be able to take one of our locomotives, one of our spare ones, and put that on there. I think 2 should be able to handle things. Yeah, I feel like 2 locomotives on there for now should be able to handle that. We'll see. Maybe the game will start picking up the pace, and we'll need to put more on there. But for now we've got a circle down here. I don't love continuing to stretch out this line. That is getting to be a really big loop. And then naturally we've got a triangle over here. We only have 1 tunnel, I believe. Maybe we should try going from here up to there and over to there. Maybe we'll do that just to see if that works for things. We will get more tunnels likely in future weekend or start of week rewards, but I think that will help out, just kind of cutting through the middle of the board. We can add that triangle in. Makes the gray route a little long, but I like the shape split that we have there now. The yellow line is getting very big. Do we want a new line, or let's grab an interchange? I feel like an interchange is going to be important. But it is also going to be important at some point here. This yellow can't keep getting, the yellow line can't keep getting bigger, really, I don't think. So we do that. That at least splits the shapes up okay over here, but this is getting quite large. Wonder if we get rid of this gray. If we just stretch this orange to there. And then if we change this again so that we can basically just don't want this yellow to get too huge in terms of the area that it's covering. So if we now went and did something like this, and then if we stretch this up here, I think that's not bad. We're almost at 600. We do have the interchange that we can use. Let's pause for a second. What are we going to do with this circle? Probably expand that like that. Yellow is getting a bit busy. I think it's going to be able to handle it here, though. No, we've got a unique shape now on the yellow line. Pentagon. We're up over 700. Things are busy. So locomotive. Maybe let's grab a carriage. Let's pause for a second. I think we'll put the carriage on here. So that train probably needs a little bit of help. And then we've got, actually going to, I think we're gonna, let's make some changes here. If we, it's not ideal. I don't like the shape. Don't like the shape split that we've got here. We have one tunnel, so we could stretch this. Yeah, maybe we'll do that and see where things lie. Actually, you know what would be useful is to probably stretch like that. Give the orange line a connection to both the yellow and the blue. And I think it helps our shape distribution a little bit. Naturally, another square. This game has been crazy with the number of squares this time around. So many squares. Let's pause for a second. I think we need another train on the blue line. Send that one there. Other than that, I think we're okay. Orange is keeping up. Got another shape on the yellow. We're 900. Pause for a second. I don't love that circle, but we can add that into the gray line there. You can see the volume of passengers is starting to ramp up. We're doing okay though. End of another week, so we get a locomotive. Could add, let's add another line. I don't know if we'll need that necessarily right away. The tunnels would be useful as well. Pause for a sec. We got another unique shape. We've got 2 locomotives on the yellow line. I think we're probably going to want a third soon. Blue is getting quite busy, but they're still handling things. Orange is just rolling along. Okay, let's pause for a second. Don't love this. I'm going to stretch that for the moment, but I think we're going to make some changes to the yellow line to try to keep things functional. Let's pause for a second. How many? We've got 3 locomotives. Let's add one there. Then we'll run again. We've got a square up here. Not amazing. End of another week. Let's grab a carriage. And let's pause for a second. I'm going to take that blue one off of there. Let's put it onto the yellow. And then let's take this and put it on there. I think the carriage will help that blue to the point where it probably doesn't need the extra locomotive. But if we do need to put one back, we are more than able to. Let's pause for a second. We definitely need, let's put a few more out here. Let's get one out on the orange. Let's get one out on the, let's get one out on the blue. This triangle, not amazing. Let's run that and see how things go. We're almost at 1400. It's not bad. We can put this triangle here with the circles. And then I guess another one. Another week ends. Let's get tunnels this time. Let's pause for a second. Now, I feel like the yellow is getting too big. What are our options here? If we back this up, back that up, back that up, back that up. If we were to come across and just go through there, that removes a station, but also removes a huge amount of distance. We don't have the yellow connected to the orange, so maybe we want to do that just in case that becomes useful. We can have that go to there. Our stations are offset, which is good. I feel like that's not bad. So then we would need to connect that back to there so that we've got the full loop again. Curious though, if we take this, let's go back this way again. If we come over here, because we do have one more line that we can use. If we bring that up, down, 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 and down. What if we went from a triangle? I guess what if we just did this? I think we need to go there and then down to there. And then if we made this that just removes a bit of extra distance, removes a bit of volume. What have we got in terms of, we still have a bunch of tunnels? So we can see here, we'll see if this is useful or not. It may not be, which is okay. But this might just make things slightly more manageable for all the different colors. And then we can actually, I think we'll bring that yellow down to there. I think that is useful. We're almost at 1700. Let's add another train down here. Oh, that wasn't the way I wanted that to go. Is that okay? That's okay, I guess. Let's pause for a second. If we, like, that's just weird, right? That's weird. Can we go through this in a more intuitive way? Maybe like that. It's not bad for the blue. It splits the shapes up a bit more. I am slightly worried about this. Are we going to get a train there in time? I'm not going to risk it. Let's just put the interchange there for now. Not a great use of an interchange, but I'm not going to let the game thwart us yet. Pause. Can get that circle integrated. Let's pause. We need another train there. Let's stretch that to there so that that includes the plus, because I think that will be useful. We've got a lot of trains on this gray one, but let's see. We do have an interchange. I'm worried about the blue as well, though. Let's pause. Let's add the interchange here. I think this is actually the biggest concern. Can we add, yeah, we don't have any more trains. Let's see, we're crossing 2000. Do we have enough going on here to survive? I think so. We're over 2000. Getting lots of annoying shapes, but continuing to cruise along 2100, which is good. I am happy with that. Another locomotive, another interchange. If we pause, I don't know what is best for this. I guess it's got to be orange. Can we get another train on the orange? Yeah, we need another one on the orange there. I'm going to bring the blue through there, because that way hopefully we can get rid of some circles before we get to that one. It won't hurt to pick anything up here. Let's run that and see where things go. Another square, that is not helpful. So we do have an interchange that we can use. Yellow needs some help. Pause there. We're almost at 2400. This is going well. The question is, can we keep holding it together though? So we just have the interchange. We're almost at the end of the week though. Need something probably for the yellow line to help it out some more, but let's see, what is it gonna give us as an option here? Grab a locomotive and another interchange. Let's pause. Let's pause and assess things. We've got so many squares. So many squares. What is going on, game? If we put this out on the Where's the star? Star is over there. So if we run this that way, we need to get this triangle in the mix. Is this really useful? I don't know if it's super useful. I kind of feel like maybe. We back that all the way out. We add all of those back. That makes the yellow long, but if we run for a moment, we should get, yeah, we should get our train back. If we then go from here, if we just run this as a direct, almost direct, if we maybe bring it through here. Let's try running that. I feel like that could make things better. It gives the yellows a way to get to the the star. Let's pause for a second. We add an interchange right there. That should make that a bit better. But it gives a better way to get things from over here to the star. It gives yellow some more shapes to deal with, which I don't think is a bad thing. Kind of tempted to just go and do this as well. No? Oh, we don't have enough. We don't have enough tunnels. That's fine. I think we can live without that, but I just thought it might be useful. Actually tempted then to go. We do have one tunnel left, so if we went did Pentagon over to square and then down to there to make it a complete loop, that could be interesting. We do have one more interchange that we can use if need be. We're approaching 2700. Blue is quite busy. Let's pause for a second. Stretch that. Orange is becoming a little intense, but that's okay. Blue is staying alive. Another square over here. We've had some. This is like this never happens. I think it's purely because the game is listening to me that we've had this many squares. It's just not the way that things usually go. Blue's moving through stuff. So we got a new locomotive. We can get another interchange. We're almost at 3,000. We do have a spare locomotive if need be. We may have a need. Yeah, let's pause. Let's get that locomotive on the go down here. The orange. And I'm tempted to at least start there, making that an interchange. And making that one an interchange. We're almost at 3,200. Pause for a second. Another square. That's bonkers. Things are moving. We're over 3,200. Let's pause for a sec. Do we have a train that's not so busy? Let's just move this one over here because this is going to need, maybe this one should run in the opposite direction. 3,300. Can we live to fight another day there? Yep. Things are getting crazy. We're over 33. Let's grab another interchange. Let's pause that for a sec. Let's put the interchange up here. Can we run another one? Let's go that way with the blue. We are over 3,400. We are living on the edge at the moment here because I think, yeah, we're toast up here. This blue has gone over the edge. 3,500 though, I'm pretty happy with that. That is a pretty good run, in my opinion. That puts us top 10%. That is really good. I am quite happy with how that all came together. That was a bonkers map. Really interesting to see all the weaving back and forth across the water. But pretty happy with how that turned out. A good score for the leaderboard there. Next up, it looks like we're going to have Tokyo. If we go there, Tokyo is the next one. So looking forward to trying that next time. But for now, super happy with how we managed to place on Lisbon. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.